David, why Kentucky? Kind of brought you here? And yeah, just
Like one of the main things I say all the time is just I've always wanted to play in the SEC when I was younger. It's like been a dream of mine, and like this is the most northern SEC school, so it's definitely like a big thing for me when I first came on a visit here, and then on my first visit here, it just felt like home, and no other school felt like this, so it was a pretty easy decision for me to come here.
Nick Roush?
We were told to ask about the hair. So, what's the deal with the flow?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me about it. My parents ask me about it. I'd say weekly, honestly, just asking me when I'm gonna get cut and stuff like that all the time. But I don't know, honestly. I'm just gonna keep it going till one day I'm done with it. But I was downstairs with Jagger in the locker room before. I was trying on my helmet, and all I could say is the hair looked real nice in the helmet. That's all I gotta say.
Part of the new college you. How has that transition been? I'm sure it's a little bit different considering all the COVID stuff, proms and everything. I don't even know if that's happening now. So just what's the transition been like from high school to college?
It's definitely been different for sure. Like it's different than what I've imagined it, but I've loved the transition so far. It's hard, like waking up in the mornings for workouts and stuff like that. It's been hard, but me and Jagger just keep going, keep working through all the stuff, and then just try and be the best. Try and do the best I can every day.
You also got to learn a new offense. What's that been like with Coach Wolford? He strikes me as quite the character.
Yeah, he definitely is. I love him. He's a great coach. He's definitely a different personality for sure. But with the new offense, everyone's learning at the same time. So if anyone has questions and stuff like that, it's not like all the people new that are coming in don't know it and all the older people do. We're all learning at the same time as like one big group, which is great, I think.
Apparently, in the recruiting trail, he likes to talk about the food and send pictures of the food he's making. Does he send you all pictures of his food? Does he talk about food a lot with you all?
He personally has not sent me any pictures of the food. I don't know if he's done to other people, but not to me. But he has talked about food before. In the meeting rooms before, yeah.
I'm sure pancakes.
Okay, Josh Moore?
having a father who played in the NFL isn't a bad way to a bad person to learn from. I wouldn't think. What kind of advice has been imparted there?
He's definitely given me a lot of advice. Like all of high school, I'd go watch film with my high school team. Then right after workouts, I'd go back home and watch film with him. So he would go into great detail on like things I could do better for sure. So he was always critiquing me, trying to make me like the best player I could be, which is I'm really thankful for, honestly.
Curtis Birch?
So I was told to ask you about Rocket League.
Yeah, that's a video game that I play a lot. So Jagger would say I'm pretty loud when I play. I'm pretty competitive in the game, so I like to play it a lot. And that's what I do most of the time when I'm just chilling back at the dorms.
And then with your name, it's a little hard to pronounce as we said at the top. What's the craziest pronunciation you've ever heard when someone didn't know who you were but introduced to you?
That's a good question. I've heard some crazy ones before. I've heard people say like Walhabaugh, like they pronounce like the G at the end. That's what I think is the weirdest. Some people say bog at the end and not like buh. So that's what I would say is the weirdest part of my name is when people pronounce that at the end, which I think is pretty funny.
Josh Moore?
I was actually going to say with you brought up Wooly. Do you have a nickname? Is that sort of from high school or anything that's kind of people have kind of used?
Yeah. So in high school, my hockey coach would call me Wally, and that stuck with me in high school for hockey pretty much. But then as Coach Wolford got here, he calls me Wally here and there sometimes too. So it's nothing new for me. It's the same nickname pretty much.
What position were you in hockey?
I played defense.
How does that help? Does it translate at all to the football team? I can't imagine there's many football players that have also played hockey.
Yeah, honestly, I think it helped me transition. I think some things transition really well to it. Like for hockey, you have to have really fast feet and like really good feet. So I think that really helped me with my footwork on O-line and stuff like that for sure.
Nick Roush?
the more important hockey question: who is the best Mighty Duck?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question, honestly. I think I got to go with Charlie though. He's the main guy, so I think I got to go with him on that. But there's definitely definitely a tough question.
Yeah, he couldn't hit a knuckle puck though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But I would maybe say the cat because she saved the day. Do you have a team? Do you have a hockey team? Are you watching religiously, or was that more of a you just like to play kind of deal?
So I played hockey for like most of my life. From like I think I started skating when I was like 3 years old actually. So I played all the way to sophomore year of high school. So I watched it a lot growing up. I didn't really have, I would say, like a favorite team, but I definitely watched the Columbus Blue Jackets a lot just because they're an Ohio team. So I'd pay attention to them more often than not.
Did you ever mix it up and throw some jabs while you were playing hockey?
There's been a few times where some punches have been thrown for sure. Like I remember like some tussles I've been in before, but nothing like whistle blown, dropping the gloves, crazy stuff like that. That's only in the pros in college, pretty much.
Josh Moore.
Which one of your teammates at UK would be the best hockey player?
Oh, that's a tough question. Not too many of them skate right now, but I think Jagger would probably have a good shot, but it's hard to say. I'd have to see him out on the ice first, just to see him what he can do on skates first.
How hard is that? Just the balance, and because it's one thing to have the footwork, but what does that do, like balance wise, to be able to skate and I don't know. I feel like that would really help. Just
Yeah,
overall.
it definitely teaches you like a young age. So, like when I know like when you start hockey later in life, it's definitely a lot harder to like teach them how to skate just because like it's basically I kind of look at it like skiing. Like once you learn it like later in life, it's harder, but you can still do it. But ever since like I was like at a young age, I learned it pretty fast, and ever since then I just like had like kept that balance and stuff like that. But it's for sure helps with balance a lot.